The year 2020 had descended upon the town of Landford like a heavy, suffocating blanket. The world felt smaller, partitioned by plexiglass and marked by 6-foot intervals of social anxiety. Inside the Connor household, the usual chaos had been amplified by the surreal convergence of a global pandemic, a high-stakes presidential election, and the bittersweet arrival of Halloween. Dan Connor sat at the scarred wooden kitchen table, watching his grandson Mark adjust a complex arrangement of red balloons inside a clear plastic torso. It was an ambitious project, even for a kid who spent most of his time thinking about science. "Wow," Dan remarked, leaning back in his chair until the wood groaned in protest. The pandemic, the presidential election, and Halloween all happening at once. It is like a perfect storm of bad timing. You throw 5 dumb teenagers into a cabin right now, and you have got yourself a classic horror movie. "The voting booth at the library is not working," Darlene added, walking in with a stack of mail that consisted mostly of overdue bills and campaign flyers. "I will probably have to go outside alone in the dark to fix it," which is exactly how those horror movies start. Suddenly, Jackie Harris burst into the room, her eyes wide behind a pair of oversized safety goggles. She stood with her feet apart, a dramatic pose intended to capture everyone's attention. "Madams and messers, your attention please," she announced with the practiced flair of a circus ringmaster. "It is 2020, so get ready to trick or treat in style. COVID style." Behind her followed Harris, dressed in a tattered, blood-stained medical uniform. She looked exhausted, which was arguably the most realistic part of her costume. "A cursed nurse," Becky noted from the sink, where she was scrubbing a pot. "Is that because you are underpaid and stuck in a tiny plastic box all day?" "No," Jackie corrected, pointing a gloved finger into the air. "She is a cursed nurse because her mother told her she could never be a doctor. So, she became a nurse, and then she killed her mother. Now she wanders the earth, punishing mothers who never thought their daughters could successfully run a restaurant." Darlene squinted at her son, trying to parse the mechanics of his outfit. "And Marcus, a gumball machine. I did not know how to make that costume about my mother," Mark admitted, gesturing to the colorful balloons encased in his chest. "But it does promote gum," Darlene noted. "That is perfect for all those kids with questionable diets who just need that one little push to get across the diabetic finish line." "Well, I love the costumes," Dan said, sighing as he checked his phone. "Unfortunately, the news just broke. The mayor just canceled trick or treating in Landford this year. Health safety protocols and all that." "Oh yeah," Jackie muttered, her excitement deflating. "It is the same plan they used to ban drinking in the park. Why else would you go to a park if not to hide a bottle in a paper bag?" "I am sorry, kids," Dan said, looking at Mary, who was sitting quietly in the corner, her eyes fixed on the floor. "We will double up on trick or treating next year. We will get twice the cavities." "It is fine by me," Harris said, her voice muffled by her mask. "I know this costume protects me from the virus, but seriously, this thing has no air holes. I am starting to see stars." Mary stood up slowly, her face a mask of quiet, crushing disappointment. "I do not care about the virus," she said softly. "I really wanted to do Halloween. Now I do not have anything else to look forward to." She turned and walked upstairs without another word, her footsteps heavy on the wooden stairs. "What happened there?" Becky asked, looking at the empty doorway. "The mayor canceled Halloween," Dan replied. "Hard to swallow for a 10-year-old. "You think Mary is okay?" Becky asked. "Hard to tell," Darlene said. "I am used to my kids being upset and disappointed. That is their natural state. But it is rough when you see it in a well-adjusted kid like Mary." "Hey, I cannot blame her," Dan said, his voice nostalgic. "When you are a kid, trick-or-treating is the best day of the year. Remember how we used to have so much fun looking all raggedy, going to the rich kid's neighborhood for pity candy? Remember that stuck-up family that put out that bowl that said, 'Only one candy per person, please'?" "Yeah," Becky laughed, a rare genuine smile lighting up her face. "I think I still have that bowl. I stole it on the way back." "You know what?" Darlene said, checking the clock. "We have a few minutes before we have to head to work. I am going to go check in on Mary." She found Mark in the hallway instead, still struggling with his gumball torso. "Hey, Gumball, I forgot to ask you, how does it feel to be back in school?" It is only a couple days a week," Mark said, leaning against the wall, "but it still sucks." At soccer practice, we take turns kicking the ball. One kid kicks it, then they wipe it down with a bleach rag, and then they give it to the next kid. It lacks any real rhythm. How is everybody dealing with the social distancing and the masks? Good while we are in class, Mark explained. But the minute we are outside, people get stupid. Yesterday I was walking home, and this kid I hang out with sometimes, Colin, was with some other kids, and he started hassling me. He told me to take off my mask. I said no, and he said, "What are you afraid of, Pelosi?" Smart kid, Darlene noted dryly. He knows about the Senate. She is the Speaker of the House, Mark corrected. But yeah, then Colin said his dad said wearing a mask is just a way to scare people into staying home, and that could cost his dad his job. What did you say? Nothing. I just kept walking. Okay, Darlene said. Good for you, I guess. Mark looked down at his colorful balloon chest. I wanted to say I am not afraid. I am wearing the mask to keep other people from getting sick, including him. But you always say I should just ignore them. Okay, that is one way to go, Darlene admitted, feeling the weight of the world on her son's shoulders. But you have a right to say what you want, too. I mean, even if Colin does not get it, you may change somebody else's mind. Yeah, Mark whispered. I felt really weird not saying anything. Next time, I want to do that. Darlene moved toward the stairs. Did Mary come back through here? No, why? She is not upstairs, Darlene said, her voice rising with concern. I could not find her anywhere. All right, Dan called out from the kitchen, having overheard. We will spread out. She has got to be here somewhere. This house isn't that big. What? You cannot find Mary? Becky asked, joining the search. DJ is going to be mad if we lose her. When you have only got one kid, you get super attached to them. They become like a vital organ. But you have 3 kids, Harris noted, looking at her grandfather. Weren't you attached to them? We had 1 favorite and 2 backups, Dan joked grimly. You kids figure it out among yourselves. Check the basement. Becky finally found Mary sitting on the roof, staring out at the quiet neighborhood. The autumn air was crisp, and the sun was setting behind the trees. Hey, how did you know where I was? Mary asked without looking back. Oh, I used to come up here all the time when I was mad, Becky said, taking a seat on the shingles. What were you mad about? Living here, Becky admitted with a chuckle. But you are still living here, Mary pointed out. Yep, still mad. Becky nudged her gently. You are bummed about Halloween, right? Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Your dad will come up with something fun for you to do. He is good at that. No, he won't, Mary said flatly. He works all the time. I am alone a lot. I mean, I know he got promoted, but I did not think he was working that much. A lot of times he does not get home until 8 o'clock. I have already made myself dinner by then. Becky's heart sank. The reality of a single parent working overtime was something she knew all too well. Oh wow, so you are like alone all day? That is so hard. What do you do all day? Becky asked. Well, after online school, I have my television friends, Mary said. Rachel, Ross, Monica, Phoebe, Chandler, and the dumb guy. Oh yeah, Becky nodded. I never watched that show. The title turned me off. Friends. That seems like a lot of pressure to live up to. I wish I was here more, Mary. There are always people around this house. But when I go back and forth between here and your dad's, it is hard because I always forget my stuff. Yeah, Becky said softly. I know this is not easy for you. I really think we should talk more about this later, but right now I have got to get to work. Come on back inside. Can you stay up here with me for a few more minutes? Mary asked. Becky looked at the girl's lonely expression and sat back down. Sure. A few more minutes won't hurt. The next day, Becky and Darlene were at the plastics factory, their faces covered by surgical masks as they worked the assembly line. The roar of the machinery was constant. Oh man, Jackie sighed from the next station over. Things never change. That right there is old lady Carlson hanging out her laundry across the street. Wait a minute, Darlene said, squinting through the dusty window. That has got to be her daughter. Lady Carlson has been dead since '98. I look great compared to her, right? Jackie asked. Well, you don't have the hump, Darlene noted. And I have got a personality that lights up a room. We have only been working here for 4 days, Becky warned, looking at her sister. We are going to get in trouble. Put the phone down. No, Darlene said, dialing her brother. DJ is going to want to know how upset Mary is. The voicemail is full. Who the hell wants to talk to DJ this much? Suddenly, a loud buzzer sounded across the factory floor. "Oh, that is kind of fun," Jackie said. "Unless something bad happened in cutting and forming, in which case it is terrifying. Or there is an immediate opening for one of us in cutting and forming." A man walked by, waving a heavily bandaged hand. "Pretty cheerful for a guy who just lost a finger," Jackie remarked. "Oh, you know what? We definitely have to do a Halloween thing for Mary." "Yeah," Becky agreed. "That will solve the problem for now. But it sounds like DJ is not around much. We just cannot leave her hanging around her house alone all day." "You know what?" Darlene said, her mind racing. "I only see one option. Until Gina gets back from the military, we have got to move Mary into the house with us." "Wow," Becky said. "I do not know if I can make that time commitment with Beverly Rose and all." "Well, if we are both looking after her, I think it will be okay," Darlene argued. "How about this? You be the hard-ass aunt, and I will be the fun aunt." "Who says I am the killjoy?" Becky asked. "Let us hide a fish in your car and see who is fun then." "Sure," Darlene laughed. "And since it is already an overcrowded flop house upstairs, she can live in the basement with her fun aunt." "You mean like a living babysitter?" Becky asked. "I mean whatever you think is best for Mary. Between Ben and Jackie and Dad, somebody will be there during the day until we get home. If we bring some of her stuff over from DJ's, I think she will be happier. And we should leave a note. Hope your business trip was successful. We are taking your only child to live with us." "Yeah, we will deal with that when we see him," Becky said. "I'm just trying to imagine how I would feel if someone wanted to take one of my kids to live someplace else." "Don't say a word," Darlene whispered, just trying to savor the thought of a quiet house. Suddenly, Darlene's phone rang. It was the school. "Oh crap, it is Mark's school. He got into a fight, and they are suspending him for 2 days. They sent him home." "Oh man," Becky said. "That is too bad. He was going to be the good one, right? The golden child? It is nice to know someone else is having a worse day than you are." When they got home, Mark was sitting on the sofa with a swollen, purple lip. "Here you go," Darlene said, handing him an ice pack. "Oh my God, are you okay?" "I am fine," Mark muttered. "Well, who beat you up?" Becky asked, leaning in to inspect the damage. "Why do you assume somebody beat me up?" Mark asked indignantly. "For your information, Colin is the one who ran away crying. I am the victor." Okay, great," Darlene said. "You won. That does not make it any better. You are not supposed to be fighting. We are Connors. We fight with words and sarcasm." "Sometimes you cannot help it, man," Dan said, walking in from the kitchen with a beer. "I remember my school fighting days." "Yeah," Jackie added. "Back then, you girls used to carry razor blades in your beehives. It was like a medieval armory up there. I did not need to carry razor blades because I had truth and justice on my side," Jackie said, laughing at her own joke. "Okay, so why were you fighting?" Darlene asked. "Colin was being a jerk about me wearing a mask," Mark said. "And Grandpa Dan said that I should have known better." No, Dan interrupted. "Grandpa Dan said that you should talk to him and explain your point of view. A civilized debate." "Okay, that is a surprise," Darlene said. "Never mind. I was telling Colin all about the science," Mark continued, "and he would not listen. I called him an idiot because he was being an idiot. Then he hit me. Then I hit him back, and he was so surprised I had another chance to hit him." "I told you," Darlene said, turning to Dan. "Do not waste your time talking to people like that. It only leads to violence." "But Grandpa was right," Mark insisted. "It felt good to talk back. I felt powerful." "Oh man," Darlene groaned. "You see what Grandpa did was he set you up for a really bad situation. I am going to deal with that later. But put on your jacket." "Why?" "I am taking you out to dinner." "Is that my punishment?" Mark asked. "Taking me to a restaurant during a pandemic?" "No, we are trying to make Mary feel better," Darlene said. Casita Bonita turned their parking lot into outdoor dining. They put this nice tarp up so you don't even notice the possum staring at you from the dumpsters. Hours later, they returned, looking absolutely frozen. "Mama," Harris said, shivering. "Who told you they were open?" "Louise said they were doing dinner," Becky complained. "I guess she got the date wrong." "So why did we drive all the way to Chicago?" Darlene asked. "Because Chicago is known for its great restaurants," Dan said. "We got a Costco hot dog and split a chuo in the parking lot." "Let it go, Darlene. Let it go." Darlene was now dressed in a pale blue gown. "Why are you wearing a costume?" Harris asked. "And why are you dressed as Elsa from Frozen 1 and not Frozen 2. Because I bought it when Frozen 1 came out, and I was broke during Frozen 2, Darlene said. And because we are going trick-or-treating. Mary looked up, hopeful for the first time in days. Really? We are. We are going to die, Harris muttered. We are not going to go outside, Dan explained. We are going to do it here. Behind each door of the house is either a trick or a treat. You are going to have to knock on all of them to see what you get. Mary's eyes lit up. Thank you. This is so cool. Where do we go first? Why don't you start with the front door? Dan suggested. Wait, but that door just leads outside, Mary said. Don't do it, Mary, Harris whispered. It is a trick. They just want us to pick up the beer cans in the front yard. Mary ignored her and knocked. Dan opened the door from the inside, wearing a wolf mask. That was so great, babe, he whispered to Louise. Stick it, she laughed, handing Mary a handful of Snickers. They moved to the next station. I heard some noise on the door jam, Jackie sang. These are the doors 3. Is it a trick or a treat that you shall see? Let us try the bathroom door, Mary said. Are you sure? Jackie asked. Because once you open it, you cannot undo what you have unleashed upon this world. The door opened to reveal Ben, wearing a crown and sitting on a stool. Oh, Brownie. Good. Mary cheered, taking a treat from his tray. Take more, Ben said. No other kids are coming. Eat slow, Frankenstein. Have to change costume again, Jackie whispered, scurrying away. At the top of the stairs, they ran into Harris and her boyfriend. Oh, sorry kids, Harris said. I did not know you were up here. This is my new boyfriend, Jack. He is jacked up. A pun cannot change tenses, Harris, Darlene shouted from below. It is Jack, or it is jacked. That is not a legitimate play on words. Get a dictionary. What do you say about that, Jack or jacked? Harris asked, laughing. Okay, that was cool, Mary said. Oh, don't forget this door, Darlene said, pointing to the hallway closet. It is a bathroom used by 6 people. I am a towel that hasn't been washed in years. Help me, and you please. One last door, Mary whispered. You do it, I am scared. Open your bags, Dan commanded. Enjoy. We ruined the neighbor's leaf blower for this special effect. The whole wall was suddenly covered in moving shadows. Oh my God, Darlene said. The whole wall looks like it has ants all over it. It does, Dan said, horrified. Those are real damn ants again. They never give up. I tell you. Help me, giant airbendable dust. Happy Halloween. Dan stood back, watching Mary laugh as she operated a set of giant cardboard ant mandibles. My lovely assistant, Harris, Dan introduced. I am going to go out back and freak out the chickens now, Harris said, disappearing. Just then, the front door opened. DJ walked in, looking exhausted and confused. Daddy, Mary shouted, running to him. Hey, sweetheart, DJ said. You are early. We have been trick-or-treating in the house. Sounds like fun, DJ said, his voice strained. Why don't you guys head upstairs and count your candy? I will be right up. As soon as the kids were gone, DJ turned to his sisters. Thanks for sending me something like that in an email. You moved my daughter out of the house while I was out of town? Are you freaking kidding me? Hey, Deej, Dan said, stepping forward in his Wolfman Buck costume. Check it out, huh? I am Wolfman Buck. Where's your costume? I am a father whose kid is being taken from him, DJ snapped. Seems a little dark, but here is a bag for your candy. Go get the stuff you took from my house. I am taking Mary home. Thoy now, DJ, Becky said softly. She is not happy there. You don't tell me when my kid is not happy, DJ said, his voice rising. Becky, you have been a parent for like a minute. Well, I talked to her, Becky insisted. And now that you are working so much, you are not around, and she is really sad. She lives on a roof. You were sad as a kid, and you are fine, DJ countered. I mean, you are functioning. I am making this work, Becky said. I just had some glitches, that is all. This promotion is probably going to fund Mary's college, but she says she is alone all the time. She is not, DJ said defensively. I pieced together some friends from the base to come and look in on her. But they keep getting restationed, Darlene pointed out. They are not wrong, Deej. Right now, Mary is a latchkey kid. Plenty of kids are latchkey kids, DJ argued. When we were kids, there was always somebody at home to watch us, Darlene said. That is because your mother and I love you guys, Dan interjected, and we could not hold down a steady job to save our lives. I could have used a little less love, And a little more Calvin Klein jeans, Darlene muttered. We are all proud that you got promoted, son, Dan said, putting a hand on DJ's shoulder. But why not let her be with us during the week? It is just until Gina gets back from overseas. We are the bubble. Thoy now, Deej, Darlene said. You are a great dad. It is just you are only one person. I think this is what she wants. Mary, come down for a minute. Mary walked down the stairs, looking between her father and her aunts. Hey, Dad. Tell me the truth, DJ said, his voice trembling slightly. Would you be happier staying here with your aunts most of the week? Mary hesitated, looking at her shoes. Will you be mad if I say yes? I would be mad if you lied, DJ said firmly. Never mad if you tell me the truth. Then yes, Mary whispered. Okay, DJ said, nodding slowly. Thanks for being honest. Keep doing Halloween, and I will pick you up on Saturday. I love you, Daddy, Mary said, hugging him tight. I love you, Pumpkin. As DJ walked to the door, Dan followed him out to the porch. Oh, I know this has got to be hard, Dan said. You are doing the right thing. It doesn't mean it does not hurt. This is only temporary, DJ said, looking back at the house. I am going to figure this out, and then she is going to be back to living with me full time. Happy Halloween. Hey man, Dan called out. You don't have to go. Thoy now. I am making hot chocolate. We are finally going to try it with milk. You always wanted to know what that tastes like. It is okay, DJ said, forcing a smile. I have got to get up early. Thanks. After the door closed, Dan turned back to Darlene. That was rough. But we are not done. We have got to talk about what happened with Mark. I know what happened to Mark, Dan said. He tried to explain his position to the kid. A fight started. Mark finished it. End of story. No, Darlene said. Not to me. Mark got punched in the face. This is your fault. I didn't tell him to fight anybody. He told me he felt bad because he didn't say anything, Dan argued. I told him the other kid could say something, so he could say something. It is called a discussion. That is how we used to solve things in this country. No, you cannot have a discussion with those people, Darlene snapped. It is like talking to a